What's up, nerds, and welcome to the Flipping the Nerd Show. This is episode 24, or more accurately, our 2-year anniversary here at Flipping the Nerd. My name is Steve, and this episode is going to be a little different than all the other episodes that we've done. It's going to be a little more on a serious and more personal level than the shows usually are. Now, the first question you probably have is, Steve, why are you wearing that ridiculous hat? Well, let me answer that question for you. You see, episode 24, this episode, and the last episode, episode 23, are actually pre-recorded because I am currently at Disney World attending Star Wars weekends, which is awesome, if you ask me. And I'm hoping that I'm having fun while this show is airing, and I can't wait to go. It's going to be a really cool experience, and one that I'm going to talk about when I get back for episode 25. So that's why I'm wearing the hat. But I'm going to take off the hat because it's hot as hell under the hat, and it looks absolutely ridiculous. And I'm going to talk about some of the more serious stuff this episode, so you won't be able to take me seriously with this thing on. So the episode is going to be very revealing. I'm going to talk about what makes me a geek, why I started flipping the nerd, and more importantly, I want to thank quite a few people that I've spoken to over time that just had, even if it was one interaction on some of my videos, channels I follow that I support, and just a bunch of stuff like that. So let me take this thing off. First revealing fact, I always wear a hat on episodes, and that's because I'm bald. Or balding, right, Kylax? So there you go. There you have it. Under the hat, I'm actually bald. So, what can I do? I am just born with the bald gene. What can I say? I've been bald forever. Which sucks, but you just roll with the punches, right? I mean, we got some cool bald people. We got Jason Statham. We got Stone Cold Steve Austin. We got Vin Diesel. The Rock is now bald. I mean, there's some cool bald people out there now, so it's not too bad of a thing. So the first thing I'm going to do in this episode is actually the thank yous. Now, you would think I would save the thank yous for the end of the episode, as most people do. But if you're watching this and you saw thank you in my title and you want to know if you got included, I don't want to have to make you sit through 30 minutes of me jabbering or jibba-jabbering or whatever you want to call it about myself and my channel. So I'm going to do the thank yous right at the beginning. And then I'm going to say why I started flipping the nerd, why I do it. Then I'm going to answer 20 geeky questions that somebody made for me. Then I'm going to have a short sit-down interview with JM the Flip, who's my co-host on the Flipping the Nerd show. And then just a little conclusion video to finish it off. So let's start with the thank yous. Now, before I start the thank yous, I just want to reveal something else about myself that you might not know, and why I kind of take these thank yous very personally, and why I wanted to make a video that thanked certain people. I moved away from my hometown about 3 years ago now, and to be honest with you guys, I've been having a little bit of a tough time with it. The reason being is, even if I've been here 3 years now and I haven't made a single friend locally, which is pathetic. I know, but I work a very corporate job. Now there's people I talk to, of course, but not a single one. I would maybe some of them I would, but none of any of them I can invite for a beer because it's just a weird corporate world that I live in. And to be honest, I'm a little lonely. I have really cool in-laws. I have a wonderful wife. And I have awesome friends back in my hometown, which I do get to see once in a while, which is awesome. But there's not much for me here locally, especially in terms of talking geek, which is why I started the channel in the first place. So what you'll notice in my videos that I answer almost all of the comments on any of my videos. And the reason for that is I take any opportunity to talk geek with anyone who cares to talk back and to listen. And I want to thank some of those people. I will also want to thank people who I'm just big fans of and I've had interactions with, and other just channels that I think you should watch because they're very cool geeks. And if, like me, you want to meet other geeks and just talk geek, then I would recommend those channels because they're awesome. So let me go through the thank you list. It's there's a few names on here. I'm going to try to go as quickly as possible in case you want to hear about actually why I do this channel, about myself, and my 20 questions. So first and foremost, I'd like to thank Geeky.com. That's G33K-E.com. They host the Flipping the Nerd Show and Video Game Blah Blah live. They support us. There's no reason for them to support us. They just do. They don't charge a penny to support us or to put us on their Geeky TV lineup. So I am super, super appreciative of that. I try as much as I can to give back to them where I can. I'll buy their t-shirts or, support their Patreon pages and stuff like that. So thank you very, very much to Geeky.com for all their support, particularly Skinslip, who's the one who facilitated all that. He's appeared on a couple episodes. His episodes are always awesome. I always look forward to talking to him, and I'm sure, hopefully, I'll be able to have him on other episodes. I know he owes me at least one commentary video, which we're going to do around October. So thanks. He's got an awesome channel as well, so check him out there. So Skinslip. Also support him on Patreon. Very, very, very cool dude. Very, very in the know. Like, this guy knows his stuff. Very cool geek. So check him out. And then there's Stoudman. I don't think I've actually spoken to Stoudman, but he's the one who actually owns or started, or I don't know, president of Geeky.com. So I just want to thank him. And he has a really cool channel too. So follow him. And thank you, Stoudman, for letting me on Geeky. I really, really appreciate it. Another website that has supported us and, just give us a couple shout outs here and there, geeklegacy.com. That's where I go for all my news and reviews. I really, really love that website. Their podcasts are my absolute favorite and highlights of my week, all three of them. That's the Geek Legacy podcast, the Pixelated podcast, and the Comic Corner podcast. Very, very amazing podcast. If you are looking for your geek fill, I could not recommend these three podcasts enough. You can find them on geeklegacy.com or you can download them on iTunes. Geek Legacy podcast is everything geek. Pixelated podcast, everything video games, and Comic Corner is comic related. And all of them are top notch. Specifically, all the people at Geek Legacy. Justin Cavender, just a super cool dude. I get to play video games with the guy. Really, really stand-up gentleman. Very, very funny. All-around good dude. Then you have Dave, Randy, and Amanda, the other people who are on the Geek Legacy podcast. Very, very cool people. Very funny stories. You have Stephen K. Janes, another guy I game with, and the co-host, the Pixelated podcast. Cool dude too. Tyler Waterman and the Mighty Jared, they host the Comic Corner podcast. Again, I really love interacting with those guys. Every time there's something I need to ask about comics, they know their shit. So all of them, thank you very much. The Mighty Jared, actually check out his website. He puts fitness into perspectives for geeks. I'm trying to lose weight right now. I'm trying to get back into shape. And I bought his books, and they've actually been helping me. I don't know if it probably doesn't show on camera. I look like a fat bastard on camera, but I'm actually starting to lose weight, and his book is fantastic, and it really puts everything into perspective using the geek culture. So very, very cool stuff there. Moving on, we got the Kylax, a fellow gamer. Very, very cool dude. One of the people who actually watches these shows. So definitely have to give him a shout out. Check him out on YouTube. That's THEKYLLAX, the Kylax. Yeah, he's got Smite videos especially, but I'll watch a lot of his stuff and always love commenting with him. Then these are channels or people who have commented on some of my videos that I like to talk to. So just quick shout outs to these people. You have Old Man Funko. Check out his YouTube channel. Super cool dude. Colin Medicine Horse. It's the same guy, but he has two separate channels. One is for geeky stuff. One seems to be like a more vinyl, like music vinyl thing. So check them both out. Definitely cool. Digital Szechuan. It's funny. He actually gave me a shout out on one of his shows, and I don't think I'd ever like spoken to him or like wrote to him or anything. I mean, I've been following. I had been subscribing to him for a long time under my personal channel, because I have Flipping the Nerd, where I actually post my stuff, but then I have a personal channel when I actually surf on YouTube. So I've been following him a long time, and it's just weird that he gave me a shout out on Flipping the Nerd, and I really appreciate it. And he does really awesome unboxings as well and other cool videos. So check him out. You have Ashley Angel, Everyday Geek, Geek Girl Geekasm, and her really cool dogs. Holy Batgirl, that's somebody I really respect. I've spoken to her a couple times on Twitter. Very cool views on comics, and I like her comic reviews and stuff, so check her out. Carrie Watley, awesome, again, unboxing. Same as Geek Girl Geekasm, and actually most of these people do unboxings, because that's where I get most of my traffic, so check them all out. They all have cool unboxings. So Miss Bogey24, Red Chaosify Gaming, Review Fools, Tarkula Vlogs, The Walking Dad, all of them, again, unboxing videos that mostly I subscribe to every single one of them on YouTube, and I think you should as well. Christina Soulmates, I've started having a back and forth with her on some of my videos, and she seems to be like really in tune with the same kind of geek stuff I like. So I'm taking her recommendations and putting them to the test. So I'm going to watch the shows. I was looking for TV shows to watch this summer, because I like to start a couple new series during the summer, usually while it's a little, it's not as active in the TV world. So I'm actually going to check out the stuff that she recommended, and I really appreciate it. Very cool. Cool lady. I really enjoy having a back and forth with her. And Stephanie Tommy. I don't think she has a YouTube channel herself, but she wrote me a message that seriously, like, actually took me like back and really made me happy to make these videos. She's talking about keeping her boxes that she has from Nerd Block for her husband when he gets back from the Navy, and not opening them, but she wants to know what's in them, so she watches my video unboxings to see what's in them. And she sent me a message to thank me for the unboxings, and no, it's thank you for supporting me. I really appreciate the kind words, and I think it's awesome that you're keeping the boxes close for your husband, who, quite frankly, I think is a hero. Even though I'm Canadian, I can appreciate military of all kinds. I have military people in my family, and I know whether it's Canadian, American, British, they're all heroes in my opinion. So very cool. Then there's other people that, not so much with the YouTube stuff, but on Twitter that I talk to, geeks that I really enjoy speaking to. We're talking about Angie, Rob, Donna, Bridget, Playful Cat. Oh my god, and Luther's. There's a ton of people on Twitter, so follow me on Twitter. That's at Stephen Alva Wood, and the channel at Flipping the Nerd. But at Stephen Alva Wood is where I'll probably reply to you quicker, because I use it all the time. And then finally, on a more personal note, more related to Flipping the Nerd, we have Amanda Kruger, which is somebody who works more in the background of Flipping the Nerd, so I really want to thank her. Anonymo, I can't say his name, but he knows who he is. I know he watches most of these videos. He's stationed somewhere too far away. I miss him dearly. I hope he comes back to Canada soon, so we could resume having long geeky conversations over coffee at 2 to 5 in the morning. So definitely a shout out to him. All my Facebook friends, they answer my questions of the week every single week. I miss them. They're mostly living in my hometown, and I always look forward to hearing what they have to say every week, and I always look forward to seeing them when I get to go back to my hometown about once a month or once every 2 months. Eric, who used to be on Flipping the Nerd. He started the channel with me. Unfortunately, he didn't want to be part of the channel anymore, but we're still very good friends. So shout out to him. And finally, JM the Flip. JM the Flip is my co-host of the Flipping the Nerd show. We started filming other series for the channel. We did an Avengers Age of Ultron review together. Very, very cool dude. He's been a friend of mine since I was 5 or 6. So, huge shout out to him. And before I get to my own, about myself and the 20 questions that I was asked to answer, they're 20 geeky questions so you can get to know me better as a geek. Here's a short video of an interview or kind of a discussion with JM the Flip about why he joined the channel and why he is, and what he is geeky about. So check it out and I'll be right back. So I'm here with JM the Flip from Flipping the Nerd, and part of our 2-year anniversary, I want to ask him a couple questions. I have him here in studio, live for the first time, so it's a good time to celebrate and to talk to the people who are part of the Flipping the Nerd family. So JM, thanks for coming, first of all, and this is our 2-year anniversary show. I pre-recorded it because I'm currently at Disney World, which is awesome. But I just want to know a little bit about yourself and about why you are part of Flipping the Nerd and what you want to accomplish as part of Flipping the Nerd. But first, tell us, what is it exactly that you like to geek about the most?
Okay, well, first of all, it's a pleasure to be live from Steven's studio. It's a long time coming, so I finally get to see the castle of geekdom, if you want to call it, because that's what it feels like down here. The setup is just amazing. Okay, but foremost, to answer your question, look, when I learned you were doing Flipping the Nerd, I wanted to get in contact with you. I knew I wanted to be part of this somehow, some way. I like to think of myself as a geek. What I geek about the most, I like classic wrestling, vintage wrestling. That's what I really, really enjoy. Like I said, if you look at my Twitter account at JM the Flip, my brief bio, there's people to quiz me on that. So if you want to test my knowledge about geek, classic vintage wrestling, I'm at your disposal. You can find me at Twitter at JM the Flip.
Awesome. And so we've done a couple wrestling shows. We've done all that kind of stuff, which was fun, by the way.
Yeah.
And just throwing it out there, as far as the Flipping the Nerd show goes, our wrestling shows have been the highest viewed and rated. So go check those out. They're around episode 15, 16. What were your favorite wrestlers? What really made you geek out about wrestling? What's the first thing that really got you into pro wrestling in the 80s?
Andre the Giant, I would say. Just the size of the man was out of this world at the time. He was one of the bigger stars, along with Hulk Hogan. This is before the era of Macho Man, the $1 Million Man. This is when Vince McMahon started. He started with Andre the Giant, as we all know, and very soon after Hulk Hogan. So I remember sitting on TV and my dad telling me about this giant of a man that wrestles in a ring. And as very young, I would say 3 or 4 years old, I got hooked on it. I'm pretty sure I'm the one that introduced you to wrestling back when we were kids. So, to answer that question, I think I would go with Andre the Giant.
You got me into wrestling, but what introduced me into wrestling was I was at my grandparents' house, and I saw it on TV, just randomly flipping through it, and it was Legion of Doom. I'll never forget it, yelling at the TV, saying, "I'm going to get you, I'm going to beat you up at the next match," and I thought they were talking to me. I was scared shitless. But then I started going over to his house, and he had all the wrestling figures, and he's showing me these pay-per-views and stuff. And from there on, I was a wrestling fan as well. So that's awesome. Now, you're also into Marvel.
Yeah.
I know big into that, and also Transformers, which I guess is Marvel, right? Doesn't Marvel own Transformers?
Now, for the purists, Steve, yes. But, I mean, for speaking as a fan, I have to say no. Because to me, personally speaking, I'm not talking literally, I like to keep them separate. Okay. I like my Transformers being Transformers. I like my Marvels being Marvels.
Sure.
I used to watch the Transformers cartoons back in the 80s religiously. Loved Megatron, Optimus Prime, and Starscream was one of my favorites.
Yeah, awesome. And what about Marvel? What got you to that? Who are your favorite characters? Your least favorite characters?
Well, that's super simple, right? I mean, everybody loves superpowers. Everybody's intrigued by superpowers. As a kid, you always want to have superpowers. You wish you could either fly, have superhuman strength, or whatnot. So as a kid, jumping into that was only natural. But I mean, I like my Marvel specifically more than DC. It's just, I guess, it's a question of taste. I grew up on the Marvel comic books. I'm the youngest of three guys. And both my brothers were into Marvel, so I kind of just stepped into that Marvel thing.
No, absolutely. And if you look at professional wrestling and comic books, there is a bit of a correlation, right? I mean, you have characters. You know, they're mystical in all their own way. They have all their kind of like gimmick, and I can see how you would like both because there's definitely similarities between the two.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what you geek out about. We're going to talk a lot about all this kind of stuff on the Flipping the Nerd show. We try to have a different title and a different subject every week. But now, going back to why you joined Flipping the Nerd and what you want to do, what is exactly you want to accomplish in Flipping the Nerd? What do you want to bring to geekdom? And what are your plans for the next year of Flipping the Nerd?
Well, that's very simple. Well, first and foremost, I get to reconnect with you. As the viewers probably know by now, we've known each other forever, right?
Forever.
And we've always geeked out, even as kids, right? We always geeked out about figurines or TV shows, and our playtime was always make-believe. And at some point, you know, as it happens, as teenagers, we kind of drifted apart. I just felt we had some unfinished business there. And when I saw that you were still geeking out about the stuff we were geeking out years ago, well, I figured I would give you a shout and see if I can help out in any way. What I try to accomplish here, I'm not entirely sure. I'm just going along for the ride, enjoying every minute. I get to talk geek once a week with a good friend of mine, and I keep, which I was failing to do. I keep informed now about everything that's happening in or around geekdom, which I hadn't had much time to do. So it's a real pleasure in that regard.
Yeah, and that's actually one of the things I like about doing the Flipping the Nerd show and all the other stuff for Flipping the Nerd. I found myself doing the same thing. Now, this channel started by doing a video game show. And I knew a lot about video games because I played a lot of video games. But because I had a show, I tend to look more into it, and I tend to research it, and I tend to really learn things that I really wouldn't have in my regular life. And the Flipping the Nerd show does the exact same thing with geekdom. I'm actually going out to look at trailers and going out to seek out pictures from sets and first reveals and stuff like that. And it's made me a lot of fun. It's bringing kind of that kid back to what we loved about it and just bring that passion back to the nerd and geek world. So just before we leave, I have to tell this story because I think it's hilarious. And I'm just do you remember why we met the first time other than school? Why you came to my house the first time to hang out?
Oh. You know what? I'm pretty sure if I think hard enough, I remember the first time I went over to your house. I didn't know you had a Nintendo yet, so it can't possibly be that.
I remember vividly. That's why.
Okay, you tell me.
So, according to you, and this is you were passing by my house and you thought it was abandoned, and this is your words. And you knocked on the door, and I answered. You're like, oh, you're that kid from school. Want to hang out? It's like, yeah, sure, I got G.I. Joes or some shit that we can play with. That's what he told me. That's whether or not that's true. Or, it could be kids' imagination too, right? But
I think I remember now that you bring it up.
Yeah, either that or I was playing with something in the front yard and you just happened to walk by.
No, I remember knocking at your door.
Yeah, there you go. So there you go.
Knocking at your door. But yeah, I had quite the imagination then. So
yeah, exactly. So I look forward to doing more Flipping the Nerd show. We're actually filming other shows today, so his involvement is going to grow in the community and in the channel. And hopefully we can get together again more often, but also for the 3rd anniversary and talk about all the awesome stuff we did in year 3. So thanks for coming. And next segment. And we're back. Hope you enjoyed that. Jam the Flip, thank you very much. And I love I look forward to seeing what we're going to do with the channel in the future as the channel continues to grow. The channel's grown a lot since you came on, and I really appreciate all the work that you put into it. Okay, so about myself, I figured this would be a good opportunity to tell you a bit about who I am, why I do what I do, and to answer 20 geeky questions that hopefully will give you a better idea of what I geek out about and what kind of person I am. Just really quickly, I started a channel with Eric, basically just to have, it started off just to be, just to talk about video games together, because that's what our video game blah blah, which used to be the Flipping the Nerd show, but I decided to switch the name video game blah blah for video games and Flipping the Nerd for everything else. So that was our original point. It was to talk about the Xbox reveal, the Xbox One, what became the Xbox One reveal originally, and that's what we did for the first year. Strictly, was just have that show talking about video games. But when he decided he didn't want to do it anymore, I kind of took the summer off. That was last summer, and started rethinking: do I still want to do this? What do I want to do with this? What's the point of all this? That kind of stuff came to my head. And in late August, early September of last year, I decided that I want to continue with this channel and make it grow as much as I can. I mean, I think we had 50 subscribers at the time. And I decided that I want to grow it, not because I'm not expecting to make money at all. In fact, I'm losing a lot of money, but I'm not expecting to make money from this. All I want is to meet other geeks because, again, like I said before, I don't get to talk geek pretty much to anyone in person, so the only place I can do it is online, and that's why I like to use this to meet other people like you fine folks and talk geek. So I started new shows. I started doing Movie of the Week, but that became really tough to do every week, so now I just release them when I feel like it, which is way better. I started the Flipping the Nerd show. Continued video game blah blah, but I do it alone, unfortunately, because I don't have any friends who are gamers who know enough about gaming and that have, an hour a week to dedicate to it. So I do it alone, which is unfortunate. But if you know anyone who is passionate about video games and is willing to donate 1 hour a week of their time, please contact me. It would be really fun. Or honestly, if you want to have any collaboration with me, I'm pretty open to doing anything. I will plug the shit out of your channel, for free. I'm not, like I said, I'm not in it for the money. I'm just in it to meet other geeks and to have cool geeky conversations and hopefully entertain a couple people along the way with some of my videos. So that's basically why I started Flipping the Nerd and why I'm still going to this day. It's evolved a lot. I keep changing it. I'm still going to continue with the Flipping the Nerd show. I'm still going to continue with video game blah blah, but video game blah blah I'm going to put on hiatus during the summer after E3 because, quite frankly, there's not a lot of gaming news, and since I do it alone, I need a little bit of a break. But I will try to replace it with some other stuff. I actually filmed 3 episodes of a new show I want to start called The Shelf, where I talk about some of my geeky collections. I have a ton of them. You see the bobbleheads in the back. There's little rubber wrestlers from the first episode. We got wrestling buddies. We got Marvel cards. We got a ton of stuff. And it's going to be an experiment. You never know. I never know if these things are going to hit or not. I take my Movie of the Week series, for example. Some of them did really well. Some of them fell completely flat. So, it is what it is. My unboxings do well, so I'm happy about that. But even then, one video will do 7,000 views and the next one will do 200. I don't know why. I really don't know what the difference was between the two. I mean, I'm doing the exact same thing. It's the same box, just a different month. YouTube's a weird, fickle beast, but I am trying to figure it out. So I'm going to keep doing this as much as I can. If you have recommendations, please send them to me. I'm trying to do something, I just want to keep entertaining, keep it fresh, and have fun doing it. So let's talk about, I guess, myself. I'm going to answer these 20 questions that somebody built for me. And I already have the answers in front of me because I didn't want to sit here and be like, So I actually wrote down the answers. I'm going to go through them fairly quickly because the video is already starting to get pretty long. So here are 20 questions. I'm actually going to post them in the description because I'd love your answers to these 20 questions. Now I know it's a lot. It's daunting. They're all top threes. I don't know why top threes, but they're all top threes. If you want to just answer some of them, just to start a geeky discussion. Again, that's why I love doing this. That's why I answer almost all the comments. I get some really nasty comments sometimes, and I just ignore the trolls for the most part. Sometimes I have some, clever comebacks, but for the most part, I ignore the trolls. So let's go. 20 questions to find out everything you need to know about Geeky Steve. So let's start with number 1. Easy. Top 3 movies. These are the top 3 movies because, is it the top 3 movies I like to watch? Is it the top 3 movies I've seen? These are the top 3 movies I would recommend to people. That's the way I saw the question. So these are the top 3 movies that I really, really loved and that I would recommend to everyone. And that is The Shawshank Redemption, Seven, and Fight Club. Absolutely love those movies. They are, masterpieces in my mind. There's a lot more that I could have put in the top. I could make a top 100, to be honest with you. But those 3 keep coming back. They really marked me in a different way than the other ones did. They all came out, relatively around the same time, between 94 and 97, which is when I really started getting into film and what made me go into film school. So those 3 have a special place in my heart, and I don't think anything would ever join them. I think those will be my top 3 forever, just because it was at that time of my life where my life really changed and really got more into entertainment and movies, which, my job has nothing to do with, unfortunately, but who knows? I'm still young-ish. I still got time, right? Question number 2. Top 3 TV shows. That's hard. I watch a lot of TV over my life. But, again, same thing. Top 3 shows I would recommend. The Walking Dead. I'm a huge zombie fan, and I love The Walking Dead. Sons of Anarchy. I've been wearing a Sons of Anarchy hat since I started 2 years ago. Not the same hat. I bought new ones, but absolutely love that show. I don't know. It just hit for me. And third, The Office. I'm going to do an Office video at some point. I want it to be really, really special because The Office is really special to me in a way that other shows will never be. I mean, we're talking about, if I turn the camera around where my actual office is, it's all Office themed. I mean, I have signed posters, I have all the bobbleheads, I have the Office sign, I have mugs, I have the Dundee trophy, World Best Boss mug. I just had a ton of Office stuff. My wedding had a lot of Office references. I actually my job is basically The Office, literally, because I sell the exact same product that they do, and it's weird. Like it's it's like watching my life at work. So The Office is my third show. Third question. Top 3 musical acts. So singer, band, whatever it is. Top 3 musical acts. For me, personally, 3 generations of musical acts. Maybe not obvious choices, but I would say Eminem, Queen, and Shinedown. I know it's a really weird 3. Eminem, I just love his lyrics. The way he writes just, speaks to me. I know, there's a lot of controversy with him and stuff. I get it. But he's just saying it like it is. If he censored himself because it's uncool, then what's the point? I like people who can freely speak their mind. And, so I like him. Queen, just love Queen. Freddie Mercury is a bloody, genius in my books. And Shinedown, it's a newer band. Well, I guess it's been around 5 to 7 years now, but I just love their music. I love all their songs. Like, there's not a single Shinedown song I don't like. So those are my top 3 musical acts. Top 3 favorite songs. I put down Lose Yourself from Eminem, Under Pressure from, I like Under Pressure live from Wembley, which is weird because Under Pressure, the original, has David Bowie in it, which I don't wrestle. I want more Freddie Mercury. So Under Pressure live at Wembley Stadium in 86 or 87, probably 86, is my favorite version of it because it's all Freddie Mercury. So, and Thriller from Michael Jackson. I didn't put a Shinedown song because I don't have one Shinedown song that I like more than another, whereas Thriller is like just a song I absolutely love. Top 3 albums. Question number 5. Again, Eminem's Marshall Mathers LP, which is his second album. Queen's Greatest Hits. I cheated. I fucking, whatever. I like Queen's Greatest Hits. And Notorious B.I.G. Life or Death. It just came out at a time in my life that I really enjoyed it. So, what can I say? I was really into rap in the 90s. Question number 6. Top 3 people I would like to have dinner with, celebrity only. Because, you don't give a shit if I want to have dinner with my grandfather or my grandparents or something like that. So these are not necessarily top 3 celebrities I want to meet. These are top 3 celebrities I want to sit down and have dinner with. Stan Lee, because God, that guy is just so interesting. I'd love to pick his brain over dinner. George A. Romero, same thing. I actually had a good 15 minutes one-on-one with George A. Romero last year, which was friggin' awesome. I picked the shit out of his brain as much as I could in those 15 minutes. And it wasn't for an interview for a website or anything. It was just me and him just talking. It's just the stars aligned and I happened to have that opportunity. So I'd like to continue it and have dinner with him and really get to get in there and understand him and talk to him. And the third one's The Undertaker from the WWE. So Mark Calloway. I just think he would have a lot of cool stories. He's been in the WWE for 25 years. He's very quiet, but when he got to do interviews in the early 2000s, when he had a gimmick that allowed him to talk, he had really funny stories and really, he seems like he's heard it all, and I would love to pick his brain. So that's question number 6. Question number 7. Top 3 people I would like to revive, celebrity only. Of course, because nobody cares if I want to revive, my uncle. I don't have a dead uncle, though, but if I did, I'd probably want to revive him. For me, it would be Freddie Mercury. I said it before. Genius. Owen Hart from the WWE. I just think he went way too soon and in such a tragic way that I'd love to see him come back. And Robin Williams, man, that just, that broke my heart, man. Just the way he did it, too. I'd love him to kind of get a second chance, entertain us for, another decade or two, and then go out peacefully, and not the way he did. Just such a tragedy. So those are the 3. Hopefully, okay. Top 3 books, number 8. I would say Stephen King's The Stand, Chuck Palahniuk's Survivor, and Mick Foley's Have a Nice Day. So The Stand, great story by Stephen King. Survivor, really cool book by Chuck Palahniuk. Interesting. I used to work at a bookstore in college, and we each had a book that we were trying to plug. Mine was Survivor. Interesting tidbit or trivia about Survivor. The whole story is about a guy who does. I don't remember what he does. It's been such a long time since I read it. But he did some crime and he hijacks a plane and he tells a story to the black box as the gas is running, as the fuel is starting to evaporate from the plane, and he's eventually going to crash so that they find a black box and he hears the life story. Well, the pages are actually going down. Instead of pages 1 to 300, it's actually 300 down to 1 to signify how much gas he has left in the tank, which I thought was really cool. Yeah, and Have a Nice Day. I love biographies. I'm a biography hound, and I thought Mick Foley's Have a Nice Day is one of the best biographies I've ever read. So, go figure. Number 9, top 3 authors. Stephen King, Chuck Palahniuk, and I didn't know what to write as the third one, so I put R.L. Stine because I really love the Goosebumps series. Is that weird? I don't know, but hey, that's what I put down. Live with it. Let's moving on. Top 3. This is question 10. Top 3 celebrities you have met. So this to me are, if you'd asked me before I started meeting celebrities, who are the top 10 people you want to meet, then these 3 would have been the 3 top that I have met. And that is George A. Romero, like I mentioned before, Robert Englund, and Tom Savini. I'm a huge horror fan, and I happen to meet pretty much every horror icon I wanted to as a kid. I met pretty much all of the big horror people, and those three were such a pleasure to meet. All very, very cool dudes, thankfully. Super nice, and they were all in my top 10 celebrities I want to meet before I started meeting celebrities. So really, really cool. I'm very happy to have met them. Moving on. Top 3 nicest celebs you have met. So just because I made a comment to the person who made these questions, I was talking about which celebrities are really nice and which ones are dicks. So these are the top 3 that I thought really went out of their way to be super nice to me. And the 3 are George Takei, such a nice guy. Oh my god, the guy is such a sweetheart. Love him to death. Triple H, now that would surprise people, right? Because he doesn't look like a guy who would be very personable. I've met a lot of wrestlers. He is by far the nicest wrestler I've ever met. Just really dedicated his time to talking to me. Just such a nice guy. So I have to give him props. He was super, super nice. Now, granted, this was in '97 when he was still Hunter Hearst Helmsley. So maybe that had to do with it. He was in Doghouse at the time. So maybe that's what it was. But still, when I met Triple H, he was just the nicest dude. And Sean Astin, who plays Samwise Gamgee, or he was in Goonies, or he was in Rudy, or Encino Man. Super, super nice guy. And I'm sure if you've met him at a convention that he probably... I've seen him like 5 times now, and every single time he's been just as nice as the other. So really, really cool dude. Alright, moving on. Trying to finish this video because it's getting a little long. Top 3 superheroes. I'm big into comics. My favorite superheroes might surprise you. It is Spider-Man, The Thing, and Batman. So there you have it. Spider-Man, The Thing, and Batman. Love Spider-Man. Have since I'm a little kid. The Thing. I just like The Thing. I'm not a huge Fantastic Four fan, except that I find they have the best villains in the Marvel Universe. But I always had a fascination for The Thing. Unlike the Hulk, he's always the Thing. And that always interested me more than the Hulk. Because the Hulk, he bitches about becoming the Hulk. But then he goes back and he's Bruce Banner for a while. But the Thing is always stuck being the Thing. So it always fascinated me, his stories. And Batman. I mean, do I really need to explain Batman? I don't think so. Top 3 favorite villains. Galactus, Doctor Doom, Thanos. I just love really powerful villains. Like I said, Fantastic Four villains is my favorite. Galactus is my absolute favorite. I don't know why. He's like the Undertaker. Every time he shows up, it's like, oh shit. It's about to go down. So I just love Galactus. Doctor Doom, of course, just one of the best villains in any comic book. And Thanos. I like really powerful dudes, like Darkseid in the DC universe. They're friggin' awesome. So Thanos, I can't wait to see more of him in the MCU. It's going to be awesome. Question 14. Top 3 geeky bucket list things to do. Okay. San Diego Comic-Con. I've been to many, many, many cons. Never been to San Diego's Comic-Con. I'd love to do it once. Number 2, have a screenplay be made into a movie. I've written a lot of screenplays. None of them I consider good enough to actually put out there, but I'm getting very close with a couple. I really want to put them out there, and to me, just to be able to see something I wrote go on screen would be the biggest thrill in the world. And the last one, it's funny because it kind of contradicts what I said before, but if I actually made money off YouTube or making content, even if it's $1, and I could make, I could make the dollars. I've made the ad thing is just like, I stopped, but the ad thing made me a little bit of money, but it's just nothing to write home about. What I'm trying to say is I would love to do this full time. I never will, probably, and it's not my goal, but to do this full time would just be the best thing ever. So that's that. Almost there. Hang in there. Top 3 geeky accomplishments. So these are things that could have been on this bucket list I actually accomplished. Number 1, I mentioned before, I met all the horror icons I wanted. I met Freddie, I met Jason, I met George A. Romero, I met some of the people from The Walking Dead, I met Tom Savini, I met Leatherface, I met Pinhead. I've met Captain Spaulding. I'm just looking because I have autographs like littered. I'm in Malcolm McDowell. I mean, just so many horror icons, which is so awesome when you think about it. So that's definitely something I was happy about. Have my name in video game credits. I worked on Rock Band 2 and I worked on Rock Band AC/DC. So my name is definitely in the credits. I know because I tested it. I made sure all the names were fucking spelled correctly, and I saw my name at the 13-minute and 54-second mark of Rock Band 2, which was really, really cool. Very, very awesome. But don't look for it. It's only in the PAL version, unfortunately. So I can actually never see it because I was working on the PAL version when I was working on it. And finally, started a channel. I talked about starting a channel forever, and it took me a very long time to actually do it. But here it is. I'm obviously talking to it. So very proud of myself for having done that. I really didn't think I had it in me. So awesome. Okay. I actually cut off my friggin' questions like a dickhead. So I'm going to have to try to remember what I wrote for these 5 last questions. Okay. Top 3 Nintendo games. I'm pretty sure I would have put... these are... Because I wanted to put... He had put top 3 video games. But because I'm so big into video games, I decided to cut it. I took out some questions and I put Nintendo, PlayStation, Xbox, PC. Because I didn't want to have to choose just 3, so I had 3 per console to prove that I am a fan of all consoles. Top 3 Nintendo games, and this is all Nintendo from NES to Wii U, I would say Mega Man 2, Secret of Mana, and Zelda: A Link to the Past. Those are my top 3 favorite Nintendo games. Top 3 PlayStation games would be Metal Gear Solid, God of War, and what else would I put of Metal Gear Solid, God of War? I feel like there's a very obvious one that I'm missing. Oh, and Final Fantasy VII. Yeah, that was the third one. So those are my top 3 PlayStation games. Top 3 Xbox games. Minecraft, BioShock, and Halo 3. Those are the 3 games I played the most and enjoyed the most on any of the Xboxes. Top 3 PC games, I only decided to pick one point and click because they could have all been point and click, but for me it was Monkey Island. Then I would say Doom, because, Doom. And my last one, what did I put? Doom and Civilization. The first one, if you can believe that. I played it a million times. My dad played Civilization for 3 hours a night, every single night, for like 10 years. You can ask any of my childhood friends who ever came over. My dad was known for 2 things at the time: watching movies, playing Civilization. And he switched very briefly to Colonization, if you ever played that game, but went right back to Civilization. I even bought him Civilization 3, I bought him Civilization 4. He would have none of it. Civilization 1 was his game. And then finally, very tough question. Top 3 Flipping the Nerd videos. So if I had to recommend only 3 videos on my channel, which ones would they be? That was a tough. I had to really think about this one. So I would say number 1, our biggest video. It is the Disney Infinity lightsaber reveal. So that is the most popular video I've ever put out, with the help of Eric. So that was number 1. Number 2 would be my Movie of the Week UHF. I did about 10 Movie of the Week episodes. I'm proud of all of them in different ways. Some a little less, but my UHF episode, I believe, is my personal strongest, especially if you've seen the movie. If you haven't seen the movie, maybe you're not going to understand most of the jokes in there, but I think it is my best Movie of the Week episode, and I look forward to making more this summer. And number 3, I would say it's a video game Twitch broadcast that I just decided to put on my channel, and it still makes me laugh to this day, and that's Trials Fusion bouncy golf. Had so much fun recording that video, and I wish I'd maybe cut it a little bit. At the time, I was just putting straight Twitch streams to the channel. Now it's too late. I'm just gonna let it go. But in the future, I will edit it down to a short time. But I had a lot of fun recording it. I love watching it once in a while, and those are the 3 videos I would recommend. So that's it. I've talked enough. I've bored you enough. 2 years since Flipping the Nerd first started, exactly to the day. Very, very happy with the channel. I look forward to growing it more over time. I look forward to interacting with more of you over time. And it's going to be an awesome ride. I have a lot of plans for it. Hopefully I can find time to actually execute some of those plans. I have episodes in the can that I just need to edit. So I think this summer is finally going to give me time to do so. And that's it. So back to the Yoda Mickey hat, because I am still at Disney World when this is being aired. I'm actually coming back tomorrow, unfortunately, when this is being aired, which is very sad, but I will have had a great 10-day vacation doing all kinds of cool Disney stuff and a lot of really cool Star Wars stuff. So thank you for watching. It's been a pleasure. Please, if you can, answer the questions I am going to put in the description below. I look forward to reading what you have done, who you've met, what your thoughts are. You don't have to answer all of them, but if you want to answer some of them, we can have a geeky discussion. It's going to be awesome. So thank you all again. I am very, very honored that you are watching videos on my channel, and I will see you on the flip side. Bye, folks.